Do you ever grab that second cookie even when you're not really hungry? Do you wonder why you want something sweet after every meal? Maybe you have tried to cut back on sugar, but those cravings just won't stop. Have you ever noticed how you want that chocolate bar even more on a rough day? And why is it so tough to say no, even when you know sugar isn't good for you? If any of this sounds familiar, you are in the right place. In this video, we are going to learn why sugar has such a strong grip on us, and more importantly, how you can break free from it. Hi, I'm Meenu and welcome to Fresh Earth Living, our channel where we chat about natural health, wellness, and living a balanced life. Today, let's take a look at the science behind sugar addiction, how it affects your body and mind, and some practical but sustainable steps you can take to cut down on sugar for good. If you are trying to eat better, lose weight, get more energy, or just feel good overall, understanding sugar addiction is a big step. Let's start with why sugar can feel so irresistible. We often blame our willpower for it. But in reality, there's actually something happening in your brain that makes sugar so hard to resist. Here's what happens when you eat something sugary. Let's say you take a bite of a chocolate bar. Almost instantly, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is known as the feel-good chemical. It gives you that little rush of happiness or pleasure. It's the same chemical that gets released when you do something fun, like winning a game or getting a hug. But there is a catch. Sugar triggers this dopamine release in a big way, similar to what happens with addictive drugs like nicotine or alcohol. And it doesn't stop there. The more you eat sugar, the more your brain starts to expect that dopamine hit. Over time, your brain gets used to the sugar high, so it needs more and more sugar to get the same level of pleasure. That's why you might start craving sweets even when you're not hungry. Your brain has gotten hooked on that dopamine rush and keeps telling you to eat more sugar to feel good. You might be thinking, is sugar really that serious? Well, when you look closer, sugar addiction has a lot in common with other addictions, like smoking or even drug use. The way sugar affects your brain, how it creates cravings, and how hard it is to quit. All of this is similar to more well-known addictions. And that's why it's not just about cutting out a bad habit. It's about breaking free from a cycle that has been wired into your brain. Now that we know how sugar can mess with your brain, let's talk about what it does to your body. Sugar doesn't just mess with your mood or cravings. It can seriously affect your health, especially if you're eating it all the time. Think about when you grab a soda or a candy bar. Almost right away, you feel that burst of energy. That's your blood sugar spiking. When you eat sugar, it quickly gets into your blood, causing your blood sugar levels to shoot up. At first, this feels great. You are energized and maybe even in a better mood. But what goes up must come down. After that spike, your blood sugar crashes just as fast. When it crashes, you're left feeling tired, cranky, and craving more sugar. It's like being on a roller coaster and your body just keeps wanting to get back on. But what if you keep riding that sugar roller coaster every day? Well, that's where the actual problem starts. Such constant spikes and crashes can lead to serious health problems. First, it messes with your metabolism, making it easier to gain weight and harder to lose it. Then, it can mess with your insulin levels. Insulin is the hormone that helps your body use sugar for energy. But if you are always loading up on sugar, your cells can start ignoring insulin, which is called insulin resistance. This is a big deal because insulin resistance can lead to type 2 diabetes, which itself is a serious health problem that can affect your heart, kidneys, eyes, and more. I will link my detailed video on diabetes for you. Do check it out to understand the seriousness of this problem. Alright, so now we know how sugar causes a harm to both your brain and your body. But just knowing sugar isn't great for you is not going to make it any easier to quit. If you have ever tried cutting back on sugar, you probably know how hard it can be. So why is that? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about habits. Habits are those routines that we do almost without thinking. Like that, sugar is also a big part of many of our daily habits. Maybe it's the sugary cereal you eat every morning, the soda you grab with lunch, or the dessert you always look forward to after dinner. These habits form because your brain likes consistency. It likes knowing what to expect. So when you reach for that sweet treat at the same time every day, your brain starts to expect it. Over time, this becomes a habit that's really hard to break. But it's not just about habits. Our environment plays a huge role too. Think about how often you're surrounded by sugary foods. Ads for candy bars, cookies at the checkout line, sugary drinks at every corner store, like it's just everywhere. These are called environmental triggers. They are things that remind your brain of how good sugar feels, making it really hard to say no. Even if you are not hungry, just seeing a picture of a delicious dessert can trigger a craving. And with these triggers all around you, it's no wonder quitting sugar feels like an uphill task. And then there is the psychological side of things. Sugar isn't just something we eat. It's something we turn to when we are stressed, bored, or even sad. Do you ever notice how a tough day makes that ice cream in the freezer seem way more tempting? That's because sugar can temporarily lift your mood, making you feel better in the moment. But the problem is, this creates a cycle where you start relying on sugar to deal with emotions instead of finding healthier ways. Why is all of this so important to understand? Well, experts say that recognizing these patterns is the first step in breaking free from sugar addiction. It's not just about having more willpower, it's about understanding why we crave sugar in the first place. When you know what you are up against, you can start taking steps to change it. Now that we have talked about why sugar is so addictive and why it's hard to quit, let's get into what you can actually do about it. Whether you want to cut down slowly or quit sugar altogether, here are some practical steps to help you break free and start feeling better. A question often arises: should you cut out sugar gradually or stop it altogether at once? Both ways have their pros and cons, and it really depends on what works best for you. Let's talk about both of them. Gradual reduction. It means slowly cutting back on how much sugar you eat each day. This works when big changes feel overwhelming. Maybe start by cutting down on the sugar in your coffee or swapping out sugary snacks for healthier ones. The idea is to make small changes over time so you don't feel like you're missing out. The good thing about this approach is that it's less of a shock to your system and you are less likely to have intense cravings. But it does take longer to see results, and you'll need to be patient and committed. On the other side, some people find it easier to quit sugar all at once. This can be tough, especially in the first few days as your body adjusts to the lack of sugar. But for some, it's easier to eliminate sugar completely rather than cutting back bit by bit. The plus side is that you might see results faster, like more stable energy levels and fewer cravings. The downside is that it can be really hard to stick with, especially if sugar is a big part of your diet. This method may not be too sustainable for some in the long run. So, which one should you choose? It really comes down to knowing yourself and what you think you can stick with. Pick a strategy and commit to it. Any reduction in sugar is a step in the right direction. One of the best ways to reduce sugar is to replace it with healthier options. This way, you're not just cutting something out, you're adding in foods that make you feel good. Fresh fruits are a great alternative because they satisfy your sweet tooth and give you fiber, vitamins, and minerals. The natural sugars in fruits are digested more slowly than the refined sugars in candy or soda, so you get steady energy without the crash. Berries, apples, and oranges are all great choices. Then, if you are craving something crunchy, reach for nuts or seeds. They're full of healthy fats and protein, which help keep you full and satisfied. Almonds, walnuts, and sunflower seeds are all great options. If you can't give up chocolate, try switching to dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. It's lower in sugar than milk chocolate and has antioxidants that are good for your heart. Just remember to enjoy it in moderation. And then, instead of sugary desserts, try Greek yogurt with a drizzle of honey or a handful of berries. It's creamy, satisfying, and packed with protein. These small changes can make a big difference over time in how you feel. Next, let's talk about mindful eating. This means paying attention to what you are eating and why. Eating slowly gives your brain time to realize you're full, which can help prevent overeating. Take small bites, chew thoroughly, and really enjoy the flavors and textures of your food. Before you eat, ask yourself if you're really hungry or if you're eating for another reason, like stress or boredom. If it's not true hunger, try doing something else, like going for a walk or drinking a glass of water. Also, if you decide to have something sweet, make it a conscious choice and enjoy it without guilt. This way, you're less likely to overindulge because you're not eating out of habit or emotion. You're making a deliberate decision to treat yourself. Finally, let's talk about building new habits to replace sugar cravings. The goal is to find other ways to meet the needs that sugar used to fill. Sometimes, a sugar craving is really just thirst. Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day. You can add a slice of lemon or cucumber for flavor if plain water feels boring. Then, exercise is a great way to boost your mood and energy without sugar. Whether it's a quick walk, a bike ride, or dancing in your living room, moving your body can help reduce cravings and make you feel good. If you're used to treating yourself with something sweet, find other ways to reward yourself. Maybe it's a new book, a long bath, or hanging out with friends. The key is to find something that feels rewarding without relying on sugar. Also, routines can help you avoid the times of day when you're most likely to crave sugar. For example, if you always want sweets in the afternoon, plan a healthy snack and a short walk at that time instead. Building new habits takes time, but with consistency, you can create a lifestyle that naturally supports your health and reduces your reliance on sugar. Okay, so you have started cutting back on sugar, you are making healthier choices, and you are starting to feel the benefits. But let's be honest, sticking with it can be tough, especially when life gets busy or stressful. This part is about helping you stay on track. Let's start with some common challenges people face when trying to reduce sugar. The first one is social situations. Whether it's a birthday party, a family gathering, or just hanging out with friends, sugary treats are usually a big part of the fun. It's easy to feel pressured to join in, or you might just find it hard to resist when everyone else is having a feast. Or you may just feel like being left out. Another challenge is stress eating. When life gets overwhelming, it's natural to look for comfort. And for many of us, that comfort comes in the form of snacking. Stress can make it really tough to stick to healthy habits, especially if you're used to turning to sugar when you're feeling down. And then there is convenience. Sugary foods are everywhere, and they're often the quickest and easiest option when you are in a hurry. Whether it's grabbing a candy bar at the checkout line or choosing a sugary breakfast cereal because it's faster than cooking, convenience can often win out over healthier choices. So, how do you stay motivated when these challenges pop up? Here are a few tips that can help. Instead of focusing on cutting out all sugar forever, set small, manageable goals. For example, aim to reduce your sugar intake by 50% over the next month, or commit to replacing one sugary snack with a healthier option each day. These small wins add up and keep you motivated. Don't forget to celebrate your progress. Whether it's treating yourself to something non-food related, like a new book or a fun activity, or just acknowledging how much better you feel, celebrating your successes can help keep you on track. Another good way is to write down what you ate, how you felt, and any challenges you faced. It's a great way to track your progress and spot patterns like times of the day when you're more likely to crave sugar. Plus, it can serve as a reminder of how far you have come. When you're struggling to stay motivated, remember why you started. Maybe it was to have more energy, to improve your health, or to feel better overall. Keeping all these in mind can help you push through those tough moments. Let us also not ignore the long-term benefits of reducing sugar, because sometimes it helps to look at the bigger picture. When you cut back on sugar, you are less likely to have those energy crashes. Instead, you will have more stable energy that keeps you going from morning to night. Plus, we have talked about how sugar can mess with your mood, leading to highs and lows. By reducing sugar, you can experience a more balanced mood, fewer mood swings, and a great sense of well-being. Reducing sugar can also help you manage your weight, lower your risk of chronic diseases, and improve your overall health. These benefits go beyond just how you feel today. They're about setting yourself up for a healthier future. It can also improve your focus and mental clarity. Without the constant ups and downs of sugar spikes and crashes, your brain can function more smoothly, making it easier to concentrate and think clearly. Before we wrap up, it's important to remember that it's okay to have the occasional treat, but try to make healthy choices most of the time. Over time, these choices become second nature, and living a low-sugar lifestyle gets easier and more sustainable. Staying on track is not always easy, but it's absolutely possible. With the right mindset, a focus on small, consistent changes, and a little patience, you can make reducing sugar an important part of your life. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress one step at a time. That must have been a lot to chew. Let's take a moment to bring everything together and see the big picture. It's time to take action. Whether you're just starting or you have already made some changes, the important thing is to keep moving forward. Start with small changes. Every small step counts, and each one brings you closer to a healthier and happier life. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are so many people out there on the same journey, and together we can support each other. If you're watching this video and feeling inspired, share your thoughts in the comments. What's the first change you're going to make? And if you have already made progress, share your tips and successes with others. We can all learn from each other and keep each other motivated. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips on living a healthier, happier life. And don't forget to check out our other videos on related topics that can help you continue your journey. Thumbs up to breaking free from sugar and feeling better every day, one step at a time.